Hello and welcome to this Sunday's episode of the Shah project. And in today's episode, I am actually going to talk about what I've learned about myself from a year of exploring new destinations every week. My name is Shah. I'm a landscape photographer, passionate adventurer, mountain biker, and a devoted conservationist. A few years ago, my freedom and independence was nearly taken away from doing what I love by becoming a carer for my special needs son. Since then, I've doubled the stakes of my mission to make nature and the outdoors an inseparable and fundamental part of every family. This has now become my project. As mentioned, it has been a year. In fact, it's been just over a year since I've been seriously documenting, exploring and documenting and storytelling my travels of the British Isles. However, for the sake of being a bit more clinical and statistical, it has been a video every Sunday for the past year. So let's say I've been exploring natural destinations, 52 natural destinations, if not more in brackets, and bringing them to you every Sunday. That's a lot of videos. That's a lot of videos for somebody who just decided I was on a mission. I wanted to do something for myself and actually commit to it and do it every week for the past year. And so the storytelling part about my videos are a great thing. It helps me remember and recall different destinations I've been to, but more importantly, going out and videoing and visiting these places has been a massive impact on me mentally and physically. And to tell you the truth, I have learned a huge amount about myself over the last year, and that's been the most important thing of my journey so far. How much I have learned about myself. One thing that you should remember is that I am a regular of the outdoors, but over the last year it has been a mission, it has been a commitment on my part, whereby it's become a mission which I've totally enjoyed. But the mission was actually to get outdoors for the day, overnight, hike, bike, whatever it is, once a week. So my mission was at least once a week. And guess what? I have done that. I have committed. I have been on this little mission and done an adventure every week over the last 365 days. I have really enjoyed it. So I have made a list of my points and I have them in front of me just so that I don't leave out the very important points, the meaningful points and the meaningful learnings that I've had along my journey. And the first thing I have, which is at the top of the list, is what's an animal's point of view? I know it sounds bizarre, but what is an animal's point of view? And how I view this is how simple and how natural an animal's point of view is when you're outdoors. It makes you think differently, makes you understand things from a different perspective, from an alternate perspective. And so how can I view things with simplicity is the one thing I started to understand and adopt as a way of life. And the second thing is how I observe things with patience. So as animals would sit in the wild, birds, squirrels, deer, badgers, whatever you have sitting there doing their own thing, waiting for their next meal, looking at things, observing things, it's helped me understand that patience can go a long way. Because I live in a city, I live in London, things are a rat race, as we all know, and you tend to do a lot more, a lot quicker without actually thinking too much about it. It's like second nature. It's like driving a car or a bicycle. You just keep doing it until you're exhausted or worn out. So patience and slowing down has actually been one of the things that has helped me. The other thing is appreciating life and taking things at a slower pace. So because you're patient, because you're making things a lot simpler, you appreciate your natural surroundings a lot more, and hence you bring that appreciation to your daily life. I appreciate everything. I appreciate what I eat. I appreciate that I have a roof over my head. I appreciate that I have a family. I appreciate we have great schools. I go out and simplify things and appreciate even the most minute things that probably don't mean anything to anybody, wouldn't have meant anything to myself in the past. My second main point that I've written down is control, reduce, and increase. So the control and reduce I'm talking about is anxiety. Living in the city, the pace of life can catch up on you. Definitely catches up on me, and so when I go out in nature, it sort of makes me feel more at home and helps me reduce that anxiety level. The increase part is happiness. Lower level of anxiety, higher level of happiness for sure. And that's what I've said, that life can be hectic. Every day, if you think about your daily life on a weekday, you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you get the kids ready, you send them off to school, or drive them to school, or walk them to school, whatever you do, and then go off to work, spend a whole day at work, lunchtime run out, grab a lunch, come back, sit back and in your chair, start getting your work done. Evenings, it's a rat race. As we know, modern life is a rat race, and so that anxiety level increases without you realizing. It creeps up on you. And nature, what I've found this year's journey of being out in nature every week has seriously helped me reduce that, and hence it has given me more space to actually increase my level of happiness. The ambience and vibes that you actually get by being in nature is something you are never going to get by being in a city. Wherever you are in the world, I'm in London, so in the city, you're not going to get the vibes and the ambience of being out in nature, in the wilderness, and hearing the sights, or hearing the sounds and seeing the sights. You're not going to get that in the city. So it makes you appreciate how much your mind can open up or how much your mind can be free in nature. And so it's a mind opener for sure, and it lets your mind wander. So I do think a wandering mind is a happy mind. And so when I go into nature, I have found over the last year, it has truly opened up my mind to learn more, to do more, to see more, to understand more, to appreciate more, to live more. Number 3 is actually very, very important as well. It's to do with your daily life and your living, the modern day living, and actually taking it a step further and saying, okay, this is life. How do I go about living a successful, happy life by solving problems properly? So I've actually titled it Problem-Solving Platform for Life. And I believe the wilderness and nature is an absolute problem-solving platform for life. So outdoor planning and preparation solves real-life problems. I have said outdoor planning and preparation. That is really important, because before you go out into the wilderness, and before you go for a hike or a mountain bike ride or a trek in a new space where you haven't been before, you need to be organized, you need to plan, you need to prepare the right equipment, the right items, so that you have them with you and you know you can get home successfully. That really prepares you for daily life. So you may think it's only used in the outdoors and wilderness, but you apply those skills at a later date, you can bring it back to your daily routine. And over the past year of me planning over 52 various unique hikes and bike rides and explorations, I have come back even more prepared and more prepared. And after a year, I have been so prepared in modern life that I feel I could conquer absolutely anything. And it really organizes your mind, organizes your paperwork, helps you organize your daily routine, even if it's to do with the kids and their school homework. It helps you stay on top of things because you have that as a routine. The other thing is survival skills in nature strengthens your daily problem solving skills. So survival skills, I mean, there's a couple of times I ran out of water and I had to actually filter water into my drinking bottle just so I could keep going, and that happened over the summer when it was really hot and we had a heat wave. I thought I had enough water, but I didn't, and so I had to find water. There was one time, this was on top of the mountain in the South Downs, or top of the hill. I actually forgot some snacks and I ran out of the snacks I had in my backpack. Luckily, I found blueberries along the way, lots of blueberry bushes, and I plucked quite a few and had many of those. So because I was a little prepared in terms of survival, of knowing what to do if not disaster, but heightened alert stimulations hit, then you are able to say, okay, I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do this, and it actually helps you to prepare yourself for life, your daily life, and that has taught me quite a bit. So over the last year, the survival skills that I've been learning about and actually putting into practice when I'm in the outdoors has actually helped me smooth out a little bit more my daily modern life routine. The other thing about problem solving platform for life is that time is priceless. So if you're organized, you're prepared, and you're planned, you can spend your time better doing what you love. So because time is priceless, it has allowed me to be better prepared and therefore enjoy the outdoors, view more things, photograph more things, and sit back and relax and not be worried about, if it gets dark, what am I going to do? That can be also applied to my daily life, and I hope that resonates with you, and I think it should with a lot of people, in terms of what you learn in nature, in terms of survival skills, you can actually bring back into modern living as well. My point number 4 is equally important, I think, to my previous point. It's resilience and confidence. I've naturally, by going outdoors in all weather, I have built resilience to our British weather. So I go, over the year, I've been hiking in snow, I've been hiking in ice, I've been cycling in mud, in torrential rain, I've been in tremendously awful windy conditions. I've been out and about no matter what. So every week, as I said, I have committed to being out there, and I've done it. So no matter what the weather, I've built resilience to it, and that has helped and brought it back to my city life, because I feel no matter what the weather, I am going to feel good, I'm going to feel uplifted about that. The resilience and confidence side of things, because I have the knowledge and understanding of being in nature, in any weather, in any conditions, being able to read a map and understand directions and navigation, it has given me a lot more confidence in myself. Just having more confidence in being able to tackle any problem, to be able to tackle any modern life issue, to be able to dive into any problem and say, right, this is the way we're going to do it, strategically or not, we're going to do it this way, and this is what's going to work. So almost like saying it has helped my leadership skills, and I think that's been a great benefit towards my confidence in being out in nature, which I've learned over the year, or I should say strengthened over the year. My 5th and final learning point, not that it rounds off everything I've learned over my journey of exploring every week of the past year, but it actually sums up literally everything that means to me. So this final point is, nature is a necessity, and I've said very simply, I've learned to respect nature even more. I've learned to understand why nature is so important, and to better protect it is really important. Nature is more powerful mentally and physically than any man-made thing or item. And so to appreciate nature is to be one with nature. And that's really important to remember, guys. The whole thing about, I have learned this by doing this in school, I have learned this by doing this at university, I have learned this by doing this in my workplace. Yes, but what you will have learned by traveling, by experiencing, by camping, by hiking, by actually being one with nature is more than anything you would have learned in school, in university, in your work life. Honestly, over the year, it has taught me so much more than I would have learned by actually staying in my daily modern life routine here in the city. So that's really important. And as you know, my mission is to help people understand to respect nature, help them to protect nature, and help them to really enjoy nature and the wilderness by appreciating it. That's always been my mission. That's always been my motto, to get that message out to people and to the younger generation, and so they understand why I do this and why I actually get out there. So what I've learned about myself from a year of exploring a new destination every week over the last year, I must reiterate, over the last year, it was a deep dive for me. I did decide that if I didn't do something radical to change the way I ran my life, my daily life, then daily life would take over me and run me. And so the one change I made over the last year was to make sure and be committed to get out once a week, whether it was a day, overnight, a couple of nights, go hiking, biking, camping, whatever it is, but to get out into nature once a week was the best thing I've ever done. I made that change because I did not want life to take over me. I made that change because modern day life and routines can take over. Now, if you found any of these points resonate with you, and if you found them useful, then please let me know in the comments section. I'm sure some of them would resonate with a lot of people, and if that means a lot to you, then please put those comments in the comments section. I'd love to know, I'd love to hear from you. Oh, and before I forget, if you're not a subscriber there, please go ahead and subscribe right there or down below. It really means a lot to me, and I will see you out and about.